We are bringing you a live show. Our third party is processing the response from the recent 2 articles of impeachment that have been put out there by Nancy Pelosi. And it doesn't appear that they have enough power and representation of what has happened so far in our government. Pelosi. There was no mention of Russian collusion, no mention of cheating during the election. It's ironic, but now we're looking at kind of a watered down impeachment. And it came to me earlier that maybe Pelosi's doing this for personal gain. Maybe she's got somebody paying her money to water down the impeachment so that whatever goes to the desk of the Senate to decide on Donald Trump's impeachment will be so watered down it'll be almost meaningless. It didn't include any investigation into Paul Manafort's money laundering. The second trial never happened. Didn't even mention the 9% of the 448-page document, the Mueller report, that was redacted. We never even found out what that 9% was. No reveal by the press whatsoever. So a lot of hiding of information has been going on. Yeah. And whatever she comes together with, you have to wonder, is Nancy Pelosi doing this for personal gain? Because she's already made $120 million personal assets from just being a representative in the House. How can anyone make that kind of money unless they're cheating, corrupt-wise? It just makes no sense. Robert, we don't do personal stuff here. Yeah, we talk about politics. So I know you think that Bitcoins are going to somehow take over the world, but some of us live in the real world where cash is king. So we are now broadcasting over at YouTube. The DDoS attack had taken us off part 1. Now we're on part 2.
Well, my old chat name was Callie Smiles. So I don't know if you could say that was a nickname. I guess it was a nick. I guess they used to call it nicks when they were chat room names. Or
you'll be conducting women's studies in Asia. Well, good luck with your travels, Robert, but chances are your passport out of the United States will be, your biggest liability. So, good luck. Her new glasses are great, yeah.
Yeah, they are, I guess, almost 1 year old, yeah, but yeah, they are 1 year old. But I love them. They're perfect.
So, investing in rare earth metals, silver and gold aren't that rare anymore, but they can trade easily. If you wanted to sell some rhenium on the market, you'd have to go on eBay with it and hope for the best. So I'm wondering, what about blocks of platinum? Well, platinum is a little bit more readily available than I thought. Maybe gallium. Gallium's pretty available, but it's easy to find in nature. But rhenium is almost impossible to find. Now the question is, how much rhenium is being used in cell phones? And how much will they need in the future?
How do you find the cell phone companies to sell it to?
I guess a lot of people don't even really know what is in a cell phone. I was asking Trump Tardo last night, what about recycling cell phones? And apparently the cell phones are all different. They're made from different sources. Even the cell phone companies don't know the elements that are in them. So it's kind of hard to recycle anything out of them. So it's like a one-way ticket with those rare earth metals. They go into the dumpster and they'll never be pulled out again. So rare earth metals could very well be a big waste product that you need to think about investing if you want to make money downstream. And I see your point, Trump Tardo, I really do. No, the Lizard King is Jim Morrison, Robert. Yeah, there is no other Lizard King. Jim Morrison was the Lizard King. I don't know how you can say you're the Lizard King when he was the Lizard King. So I'm not sure where you're coming from, man. Are you Jim Morrison? Because that would be a weird story to spin. Yeah, that guy was a football player from the Arkansas Razorbacks. What's your point? Okay. James Morrison, that's right. Jim Morrison for short. Pelosi never really was beating a dead horse. No, there's more than enough evidence to commit to impeachment. Donald Trump could have 5 counts of impeachment against him. We know for a fact he obstructed justice when he fired Comey, and he said to Lester Holt he wanted to end this investigation into Russia. He then invited the Russians secretly to the White House, secretly to be videotaped. We've never even seen that videotape of him talking secretly to the Russian leaders. And then, right after that, he brings Henry Kissinger into the White House and works things out with the New World Order, as a good puppet that Trump is. And then he proceeded to find out that Robert Mueller was going to be a special prosecutor. He wanted to fire him, and according to Donald McGahn, he testified that Trump tried to fire him 5 times. That's obstruction of justice. That's an impeachable offense. Over 500 professors of jurisprudence have committed to the theory that Donald Trump has committed impeachable offenses, and they signed a letter to that effect. All the top experts in law have said Donald Trump has committed impeachable offenses. Yet you Republicans refuse to acknowledge any of this to be true, and you continue to say it's all fake news, it's all a witch hunt, it's a scam. If you believe that those videos are real, Robert of California, go ahead and, by all means, do whatever you're going to do with them, but I have yet to see anything like that. Yeah, it just makes no sense, Robert, what you're saying. There is supposedly a sex tape out there, and I've seen photographs of what looks like a sex tape, but again, that could be doctored. We don't know. Okay, thank you, Robert. Thanks for sharing your special truth. I've never heard of that. I'm going to leave the show to Sarah, where you guys can talk about whatever, and politics may be something that you want to talk about.
Rhenium was named after the River Rhine in Europe.
Yeah. And it's a very rare element. What is it used for?
They're used in the combustion chambers, turbine blades, and exhaust nozzles of jet engines.
Oh, then I wouldn't worry about it. I think whatever the rarest element that goes into cell phones would be the one to invest in.
It's also a catalyst. It's an excellent catalyst for hydrogenation and isomerization.
Hey, Robert, we got a question for you. Since we have Robert of California in here. Yeah, I'm going to pose a question on the screen for you to answer, and see if you can answer the question. Now, nobody else give them the answer to the question. Robert of California, what is the answer to this question?
$2,800 per kilogram.
Okay, Robert, we're just checking to see if you're not a robot. Thank you. Well, that's good. $2,844 per kilogram. That's a lot of weight, but I don't think rhenium is the thing to invest in. I think it's something that would be used more. Don't you have some stocks in some mining companies? I think you do.
If I did, it might have gone completely bust, but...
Well, if it's still there, this is a political show, but you're talking about what you said to your wife when she came in the door. Let's focus on politics, okay? Don't talk about what you told your wife when she went into the office and wanted a job. Thanks. Rosie, this is Sarah, but she's not in any way your way. But thank you for coming in. Rosie O'Donnell, everybody, celebrity guest chatter.
Hello, Rosie.
Rosie's actually got the hots for me.
Well,
she's
I'm
frustrated.
sure everybody does.
Well, no, she's just frustrated. I think she chose the wrong choice in life when she got married, then divorced, and I think she secretly has an attraction for me. And like many lesbians, they're latent. They don't really know what they want. I'm taken. I'm sorry, Rosie. Okay, thanks for you sharing your story about the mayor of Mesa, California. They're IP blocking Insane Canadian again. 5 days he was kept out of our show from Mark. Wow. Thanks for telling me about that, Insane Canadian. He's giving us his testimony on the screen. Let me put this in there for everyone to look at. See, Insane Canadian says, they are IP blocking me again, Mr. Spawn. I was blocked for 5 days. Thanks, Mark. Wow. That's not fake news. That's real. Okay, I'm going to take off. Sarah's going to talk to you for a bit. And Robert, that's not funny. Don't denigrate women here. Thanks. Appreciate it. We know how it gets Rosie O'Donnell upset when you do that, too.
Like that. Hello, Johnny Cake. See, there is somebody watching us on YouTube, David.
No good.
Johnny Cake. You think we're alone now, but no, I don't drink, but feel free to pour yourself one. Hello, Lou. Oh wait, hello, Nico. You too. You're back. What are your plan to promote yourself to a wider audience? Well, being here is part of my plan to promote myself to a wider audience, and my wider audience is you. That's 1. 2, I'm broadcasting on 5 different websites. Twitch is just one of them. 3, I did send an email today to a couple of people on ABC, I think. That's about it. Nico, did you have a baby? Gus 207 over at iVlog is asking. Hello, Music Clef. Welcome. Ha. Well, that's what Rosie O'Donnell is saying over at Vaughn Live. Same thing, Music Clef. Basically the same thing you said to me is what she said to me. Nico Petrillo over at Twitch did not have a baby. So, he spells his name differently. So maybe you're thinking of someone else, 207. All right, I was looking into rhenium and seeing if it was something I want to invest in. Interesting that it is used in as catalysts in engines or something like that, but I don't know if I want to get it. Do you like Two Hearted? It's a beer. I don't drink beer. Eat Big Chief. You feel free to help yourself to a glass, but I don't do that. Hello, Emmett Sween. Yeah, I got it. Why don't I drink beer? Well, I don't drink any alcohol. I know it doesn't make me feel good. I like to stay in control. And besides, I don't need to drink to be like a super cool person. I mean, I know some people do because they're like all stodgy and like that. And they're not like relaxed. I'm just like naturally relaxed. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't like alcohol. I'm not in a sorority. What 5 sites am I broadcasting on? I'm broadcasting on twitch.tv, where like 3 gentlemen just came in and started talking about beer. Two Hearted beer. I'm broadcasting on Periscope, where Music Clef thinks we can flirt. I'm broadcasting on that's pretty funny, Nader. Katie. I'm broadcasting on iVlog, of course. I'm broadcasting on YouTube and Vaughn Live. Robert thinks I should smoke some dope. I don't think I should smoke some dope. I don't need any of that. I don't need marijuana to be cool. I'm already cool like that. But just because I'm cool like that, I think that you're welcome to do whatever you want with your body. You're a political science major doing some homework. Awesome job, Nico. What school are you attending, if you don't mind my asking? Well, you could say, I do mind your asking, so stopped asking, Sarah. Well, I only asked once, but that's okay. Yeah, very cool. It's cold on a gutter grate tonight. You're afraid you might freeze to it. Sarah, what should you do? I don't want you to die there either. Get on a bus and head south. At least get as far south as the border as you can. No, I cannot drink. Oh, it's a meme? Okay. I don't do that. Wow, all the way over there. Right? DC area, George Mason, Virginia. Or am I wrong about that? I could be wrong. Place to be. I don't have a SoundCloud. That's a good idea, though. I do know my friend Scissorfight has a SoundCloud. The campaign is gonna lose because I don't have a SoundCloud? Yeah. Northern Virginia is not too bad, but the whole East Coast is pretty... There's just so much traffic over there for me, and I did go near Northern. I went to DC. David and I both traveled to DC this past summer. That was pretty interesting. And I have family in Virginia. Stopped and visited them a while. Thanks for telling us about the fitness gram, Ramey Rage. Wait. Who's David? David Sponheim is a guy that is running for president of the United States of America. And if you hang out for a little while, you'll get to meet him. Yes, YouTube Live. I don't need to say anything. Oh, thanks so much. I was just waiting for you to say that, Eat Big Chief. Your wife's boyfriend says hi. All right, if that works for you, Nader. Yes, Emmett. Well, pretty much. We're not legally married, but I did like... Was it a bee movie? I think it was. It was about bees. Yes, David and I are very serious. We're an item, as you young people say. Those young people, are you an item? Like an item? Well, I don't know where Joe is, but David will be here shortly. Hug the chicken instead. Yeah, oh wait. You can't cross the USA-Canada border. Oh, is that the problem you're having? Well, I don't know. What exactly does that mean, Emmett? Okay, Nader. Thanks. You could just donate to America's Third Party, Nader. America's Third Party at gmail.com. And that would help David's campaign, David Sponheim's campaign to... Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Wait, you're just going to cross an open lake to try to get into the U.S.? Is it like one of those Great Lakes? I don't think that would be it. No, I don't know what that is, Emmett. No. Oh, now, if only, do you have anything that you can, Canadian, do you have any weapons to kill the moose? Because if you could kill the moose, then you could sleep with the moose carcass all night, and that would keep you warm. And then you could eat the moose carcass, which would also get you warm. And then you would have a moose blanket for warmth. So you need to figure out how to kill the moose. You got to get out of where, Slay baby? Yes, thank you, Douglas, for your opinion. I'm still with this guy because he knows I'm beautiful just the way I am. Unlike you, who thinks I need all kinds of repairs done. I didn't say that. I said to just... Yeah, exactly, slow modes. That's what I said. Not at this time, Nico, no. You don't see me listed in live listings on YouTube, but my channel says I'm live. Yeah, so how do I help that happen? I mean, I am live, but maybe I don't know how to get listed in the live listings. I know there was a way, like I'd had to used to, something about having to schedule it or something. But if you figure out how to do that, that would be great. A Heart for Divine. Thank you for watching us on our Periscope show. No thanks, Emmett. Washington State. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, 207. Okay. It's okay. So evening.
Yeah, I'll take over chat show command.
Yes.
Luckily, we averted any theories of reptilians tonight. That was good. Otherwise, that would have gotten us banned on YouTube. Can't do the reptilian stuff. Yeah, we wouldn't want that. Now, if we were promoting Flat Earth, we would be promoted on YouTube. They want that. They like Flat Earth on YouTube, but they don't like the reptilian thing.
You seem to have some.
All right, thank you. That's called a ban, and you can report it for offensive language. I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you,
This is
Sarah.
David Sponheim. Enjoy talking to him.
Here we are, back again, and have a great evening. Get some sleep, rest, much needed. Now, there's this Robert of California was a troll too. That was just BS coming out of banned him too. So, yeah, we've got a couple people that are blocked. Yeah, we have to ban a couple people over at Twitch. And Emmett, you're not allowed to use those words, and I'm going to have to report you to the authorities. I'm reporting Emmett for use of hate speech over at Twitch. And we do not allow the N-word here of any kind. Now, I don't know if they're allowing that over there at Twitch or not, but it's not acceptable here. Okay. You have been banned as well. We've got another one over there. We're going to block you as well. Thank you. Tell us about what you want to talk about. Yeah, there's the N-word is a bad word here, and I know Mark allows it. I don't allow it here. It's not acceptable. I don't support hate speech of any kind. I don't want to in any way entice anger or hatred. No, I'm not challenged by either the Democrats or the Republicans. I consider them both a wash. They're like water under the bridge in a massive flood. You don't worry about that. If you have your head above the water as an independent voter, you're much better off. We don't allow people to hit on each other here, so you are going to be banned here. Sorry. You keep that up. You Twitchers are really behaving strange tonight. Hate speech is not considered First Amendment speech. Like if you were to scream fire in a theater, that's illegal. That causes irreparable harm to people. It's not covered under free speech. Sorry. There are some caveats to the free speech. One of them is hate speech. It's not really record. It's just people are aware that they can't stop me. Original Sky Scion. Well, I'm taken. You can think I'm cute all you want, but I'm taken. I'm sorry. You know, I'm probably old enough to be your grandfather, so it's not appropriate to hit on the host with the most. Okay? Yeah, I was born way before your parents even. I'm one of the oldest living broadcasters in the world. Anti-right-wing Israel is not this. No, it's not anti-Semitism. No, if you're anti-right-wing Israel, you're anti-Zionism. Yeah, if you're an anti-Zionist, that's not anti-Semitic. No, we don't want Zionists to rule the world. Now that they have a strong stake in our banking community, in our medical profession, in our legal community, now wanting to use America to hijack the rest of the world and create a new world order, I cry foul. Time for the difference in office records. Yeah, well, if you guys could get a coherent line of discussion going at Twitch, I could actually talk to you. N-words is ignorance, yeah. And just like I don't like our kids listening to the leftists that want to push transgenderism on them. I don't have kids. I just feel sorry for you parents that have to wonder, gee, wonder if Johnny wants to be a dude or a woman. We don't know. I met Cher, you know, the famous musician's Cher. I never really talked to her about her son, or daughter, son. Chastity became Chaz. But I know she won't pay for his operation. You know, I don't think the government should be involved in marriage. So you people that want government laws in marriage should do that at the state level, in my opinion. I defer to the states and the 10th Amendment on that. I think butt gig working for McKinsey is very secretive and suspicious. It's almost like McKinsey put butt gig in the race. You met Cher, really? I don't believe that. Cher's a classy woman. Really classy. I doubt you could polish her shoes. Sonny and Cher, yeah. Sonny was a good guy, too. You know, the problem with Sonny is he was an honest Republican. There are very few of those. That's why they got rid of him. Head straight into a tree. Broke his neck. Want to go skiing, Sonny? Poor guy. He looked like a real nice guy, too. Like an honest Republican. I those two words together. But now you can barely say the word honest Democrat. You know, in my area, they all drive around in their Outbacks, thinking they're cool, wondering if they can someday buy a Tesla. And these Democrats in my area, libtards, I call them, or burntards, all they do is try to tell people what to do. You're not allowed to park there. That's just for the shoppers at the store. It's like they're patrolling the world. The Democrats want control. The Republicans want money. But they both want power. The differences between the two parties are not that far away when it comes to money. They're both on the same page. They'll take bribes from corporations to get reelected. Count on it. That's the problem. There's no safeguards against this type of corruption. So Nancy Pelosi obviously got bought off when she put together the two-part impeachment plan. Oh, poor Nancy. She needed 5 articles of impeachment to really close the deal. What was she thinking? Well, maybe somebody paid her off to shut up. And Nancy, we're going to make sure you and your family are fine and nobody's going to bother you. Maybe something like that happened. I don't know. But Nancy got bought off. You Democrats should know that. Douglas Reinhold, I am not an albino. No. Some people think I'm an albino black man. I've been accused of that before, but I'm not albino black man. Unlike Snoop Doggy Dogg, who did impersonate a white guy, I merely did a thing about Barack Obama. I never went around making fun of black people. I just did a blackface impersonation of Barack Obama back when, people thought, gee, is he Osama bin Laden? Who is he? All these questions came up. We didn't know who Barack Obama was, and some people still think he's Osama bin Laden. But I've also raised big questions about not only the fact that he was a fraud and a homosexual, but the fact that he represented the New World Order. He represented AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Affairs Committee. Yeah, and then AIPAC also supports Donald Trump, so that's where they both are connected at the hip. And even Obama knows he can't say anything against AIPAC. Now, to say that I'm an albino black man is absurd. So you're really off on a tangent there, buddy. I don't look a bit like Obama. I look more like this caricature. Yeah. But yeah, let's be real here. I didn't care. I don't even care if Greta wins the Time Magazine of the Year. Time Magazine will no longer be in publication in a few more years. Nobody buys it anyway. I mean, really. I like what Tekwala wrote. He had the best tweet today, and he came in here and told us his tweet. This is the really classic tweet, and no one retweeted him out of all of his 54,000 subscribers and followers. Nobody retweeted him. He knows he's being shadow banned on Twitter. He said, hey, Greta Thunberg, I have a great idea. How about we don't print any issues of this release to save the trees, to save this planet? And he put all the right tags in there, too. How dare you? How dare you deny me my chance to be on a magazine world distribution? How dare you? Very cute. And I thought that was a classic. I would have retweeted it if I had seen it, but no one saw it. Everyone was blocked from receiving his tweets. He was shadow banned, like a lot of our shows are.
David, I don't prescribe to Tekwala because his name sounds very African, and you find apartheid and its consequences noxious.
Dude, apartheid is done. We don't have that in South Africa. You have it in Israel now. It's the only last remaining apartheid country in the world, and now Donald Trump announced that Judaism is a nationality. That means that all Israelis are Jews? I would think a lot of Muslims and Christians would have taken offense to that. You got a semi-frozen lake in a northern Canadian wilderness. Any tips on surviving a night? Well, insane Canadian, I would definitely avoid getting on the lake. It'll take you down. And don't drink. One of the biggest mistakes of people in the wintertime is you think drinking is going to help you. It thins your blood out. It makes you freeze to death faster. Do not drink. Merry Christmas, Petoro. And tell the Pope that I want him to steer away from Satanism. Okay? Thank you. No alcohol for you, mister. Stay warm by just, cuddling yourself with blankies. My thoughts on autism is it's perfectly an acceptable disorder in life. It's one of the hurdles we all, or some of us, have to cross over. Everyone has their own hurdle, Autism just happens to be yours. You're not that different from people. There's so many people now diagnosed with autism, it's almost becoming normative. Nobody can share my blankie. It's mine. Cuddle with your blankie. Well, I pray for his returning to God as opposed to Lucifer. Yeah, I'm praying for his immortal soul. Thanks, Douglas, for your 2 bits. No, I don't have autism. I've never been diagnosed with anything. I'm quite normal. But what is interesting about people who are like me is when we accomplish what we want to in life, we have contentment. We don't suffer from this endless greed that Donald Trump has. My realization came much earlier in life than most. I became very happy with the reality that I'm happy with what I have. I'm a very simple person and I don't require a lot. Much like Jesus. But I'm not Jesus. I've accepted less, but in that process I've gained so much more. And I'm teaching this idea of less is more to everybody. And what a better day to discuss this than Wasteful Wednesday. I met a guy the other night at Costco who was eating one of the Costco salads. And I said, yeah, it's too bad we have to eat these salads with all the plastic waste. He said, plastic waste? I take these home and I stack them. I said, well, what do you put in them? Whatever. And I could only imagine this guy with all these stacks of plastic containers in his house. Isn't that wonderful? He takes each plastic container home and uses it as some sort of a storage device. Bless him. Bless all the people that are reusing and recycling. Bless them all. That's one thing Greta doesn't seem to promote is recycling, reusing, air filtration, water filtration. She just wants to complain about the world we live in, and then she gets Person of the Year. Blaming it on other generations, too. No, this will be my house when I move into it, but it's just temporary. We have too much opposition right now because, as you know, I've got way better ideas than Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They don't have many ideas. It's more like, I just want to be president before they prosecute me. You have been removed from the show. Your name is offensive. I'm also going to permaban you. No, I'll let you ride this one, but I have two. This is a navy blue. You can't really see it. It's very dark navy blue. And I have another black jacket. This is a size 46, and my black one's a 48. And then my gray suit is a size 50. Those are my three major suits. My fourth sport jacket is a David Taylor beige one. I wear it during the show. People think I look like Colonel Sanders. But that's about 4 suit jackets. That's all anybody really needs in life, you know. Well, you know, how many fishes of men can survive in this world now that we have mass communications? If the Christians haven't spread the message of Christianity by now with all the mass media, they've got a problem. And if those of you who have chosen not to choose Jesus as your Lord and Savior, that's on you. I'm not here to talk about religion or anything related to your spirituality. I'm here to talk about politics and how we can improve this earth and how we can make a big difference, filtering the air, cleaning the environment, unlike Trump and Biden and all the other idiots like Butt Gig. No, I don't have SoundCloud. Should I upload to it? I'm too worried about the politicians like Mitch McConnell, who's heading downhill at a slow pace. Hi, slave blah blah. This is my Navy suit. This is a Chaps made in 1978. Originally founded. No. Hot Rails, that's the oldest joke you've had since the show started. You've been purged. You're stocking up on disposable diapers for when you're caught in the CIA think tank harassing us? Oh, a disposable Tyvek suit. Who doesn't want that for Christmas? For only $172, this amazing triple extra large gray disposable Tyvek suit is the perfect solution for your level 4 disaster at your facility. This is your ticket to a better life. But no, seriously, this guy gets money from Russia to get reelected. I'm not kidding. That's not funny. You're out of here. Ocasio-Cortez should be in charge of what? You got to be kidding me. Ocasio-Cortez didn't even get the food stamp cuts that Trump is delivering right now. She thought that this 4 million person cut, 4 million people will be cut from food stamps. She thought it would have affected her when she was growing up. It never did. Because she was growing up in a family, right? Well, the cuts he's talking about will only affect individuals who don't want to get a job. That's the big cuts he's making right now. I don't support it, by the way. I wouldn't cut the food stamps. I'd double it, triple it. I'd get the $500 per U.S. citizen going. The low-cost solar roofs can be used in your homes and e-carts for vendors. Uh-oh, Mr. Bill. We should do that for tomorrow. Well, I'll do it tonight, too. Saving energy is saving waste, right? Think of how much sun you're wasting out in front of your house. All that wasted sun. Shop on, dude. For sure. Look at that. Like a portable, like a vendor basket that charges a battery. Yeah. Excellent idea, for sure. For sure, dude. Yeah, that's like a 100-watt panel. That could like really charge up a battery, dude. Excellent idea. Thank you so much for your topical discussion. We don't do sex talk here, Hot Rails. This is politics. I thought you had explained that a few times. What do you want to do about Cool Rock? Not Cook Rock, Cool Rock. You have been removed from the show. Okay, apparently you don't learn your lesson. Cook Rock. Hey, if you haven't seen Cool Rock, let me give you a primer on it. And hold your ears, because I'm going to play a loud opener, okay? You're about to enter another dimension.
In a world where bass rules the planet and its inhabitants worship sound, two superpowers collide.
We bring you a nightly soundscape of incredible music. Join us at coolrock.com and watch virtual chat, great music, and interactive news mix.
Okay, so you have to enable the flash player on this unit, and once you enable it, it will start up. Now, the flash will only be supported for 1 more year, so we're going to be looking at other alternative solutions if we have to do flash for our video. But our show pops up on here on iVlog. You can actually watch me right now in the chat room. And Cool Rock is, yeah, there I am. Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm back. We have a lot of things on here other than the 2 chat rooms you can go into and dive into and share. But you have to have both chat rooms operating on that same browser for it to work now. But anyway, we got music to play. And we've got a drum machine here. These are all free to play with. You can play interactively with a computer. Wow, that was very symmetric. I like to play with a computer. And the thing about this site is that you can move anything around you want. It's all fully adjustable. If you want it to reset, just hit the refresh screen. It's pretty cool. You can X out of any box you don't like. Say you don't like the harp, just X out of it. Maybe you want to work on some doodling during the show. You want to do some drawing or something. Maybe you just want to worship dark forces. Maybe not. Maybe you are entering hell. Maybe you don't want to be in hell. Maybe you want to go to someplace nice. But as you know, you may think you're in the clouds, but you're actually riding through chemtrails. This is a completely flexible environment. Nobody can control the horizontal or the vertical. It's all yours. You can play cards with yourself. This is all yours to customize and, again, move anything around and have fun. It is my gift to you. That's my gift to you. Coolrock.com. All right. I'm going to do a little homework here. Getting ready for the big lineup tonight. Video movies that look really good. A lot of debunking of the alleged story of New Jersey shooting. Yeah, a lot of people talking about that. Many people wondering why this person got Person of the Year when all she does is complain and then openly says she doesn't even want to do this. Yep, here she is. We've achieved nothing and don't want to continue, Greta says. She disavows the school strike for climate change. We've achieved nothing. And let's not forget, we've got this story, which was important a couple days ago. It still is important, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, hang on. I got to bring this to the forefront too. Oh my gosh. Now it's eluding me here. Well, cast on that. 500 law professors voted against Trump. Here it is. You want to see the link? What link do you want to see? The Vatican uses donations for the poor to plug its budget deficit. Only 10% donations to the Peters Pence collection go to charitable works. Really? I did not know that. Thanks, please, Mr. David. Yeah, more than 500 professors have said that Trump engaged in impeachable conduct. Yeah, this story doesn't really get any mileage for some reason. The mainstream media doesn't want to talk about it, but yeah. More than 500 legal scholars and law professors signed a letter saying President Trump has engaged in impeachable conduct and that lawmakers will be well within their rights to pursue impeachment. Where's the article where she said she wanted to quit? Who's she specifically? Let's talk about the death of a fantastic, beautiful Roxette. She was seen in concert toward the end of her life. This was yesterday, or 2 days ago. But Marie Fredriksson has passed away, R.I.P., at the age of 61 years old. And I just wanted to pay a little tribute to her music. I won't play you the song right now, but she had some of her last performances in 2016, 3 years ago. And in this particular scene, she was sitting on a chair most of the time. Her entire song was sitting on a chair, and it was beautiful. I played it earlier last night. I'll play it again tonight, but she was singing along, and I'm just speeding it up here for you to look at, but she got toward the end there, and she finally stood up. And you can see how frail she is toward the end of her life. And she's suffering from brain cancer for many years. 16 years she battled this disease. Yeah, it's amazing. And here she was in her final moments on stage. And then finally, her publicist said to give it up. And yeah, but you can see how frail she was. Bless her heart. Anyway, I'll play some of her great music tonight at the end of our show, because she was such an incredible talent from Sweden. Died too young, age 61 years old. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. It's not all politics. You're doing Kitboga? Really? No, that's not Kitboga, sir. Yeah. You're going to play my piano? Thank you. Original Sky Sign wants to check out the piano. Excellent. That's what it's here for. It's, you guys can doodle as opposed to Google. Right. Catholics talk about blind faith. Yeah, I don't make past judgment on Catholics or Christians. I'm not here to judge people for their religions. However you want to get there, it's your choice. YouTube is over. Is it because they're censoring everybody, Jim, that you think YouTube is over? Is that why you think this is the beginning of the end for YouTube? Yeah, it's very humbling to see people in hospitals, that's for sure. Recently, the censorship has been overwhelming at YouTube. It's just been unbelievably disturbing how they're knocking conservatives and liberals off left and right. They want to define the talking points to just a set group of things that only they can control. Whenever you drift off of that, I'd like to guide you, slay baby skin, but you've got to read our platform to go and figure out what we're all about. Here's the link to our platform. It gives you the basics as to what we offer. You can't be a daddy, no. You could have children, then be a daddy. I don't believe the staged kosher mark shooting for Trump's to sign this executive's order for anti-Semitism law was anything but a stunt. It's a pro-Zionist stunt. They're trying to claim everybody who's against Zionism is an anti-Semite, which is not the truth. Anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism are completely different. That's called ear rape, and that's a bannable offense. Slay baby akin. Afraid you have to be banned for that. Yeah, luckily I muted it. I muted the whole channel. You can't come into the show and do that. Yeah, Bill, I think we should build a wall. But I have a better idea. I'm going to build a container fence made out of containers 1,000 miles long. And it turns out this is waste material. Because of all the shipments that came into America, our ports of entry are all sitting there waiting for people to fill the containers to go back to Asia, and no one did. So why not use 800,000 spent containers and build a triple level wall for under $1 billion? Fantastic. You got the House resolution, all right. You got more on the New Jersey shooting situation, which may or may not be legit. 1 year ago today, or yesterday, they had a crisis event at that same location. But here's food for thought. Sorry, they're too greedy to want money for this channel. I can't really get to it. Let me see if I can get it on incognito. Jersey City shooting. Suspect linked to a shooting of a synagogue. Yeah, that does sound like their typical move, to blame it on an anti-Semite and then build a case to support the Jewish people yet again. Yeah, I can't get that. Oh, here it is. A black Hebrew Israelites have been labeled a hate group. The suspect wrote anti-Semitic and anti-police posts. Wow. They're examining links to the black Hebrew Israelite movement and this recent attack, alleged attack. It's kind of hard to run the mainstream narrative and also run a counter narrative claiming a false flag. Yeah, I think that's a lot of BS, Jim. No, walls are not racist. Walls are actually important to maintain the nation border. Walls equal nation state. Yeah, it's part of the nation state plan to have walls in between countries because we can't control the flow of potential danger. No walls equal danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Trump likes walls because it's my idea. The 1,000-mile fence idea was my idea. He used it. I support the idea 100%. We need to build it. We've got containers we can build it with. We're not here to not talk about, we're not here to discuss taking down fences here. No, that's the Global New World Order channel. You're in the wrong channel, sir. Yeah, guess 748. You may want to go to the Democrat channel where they don't talk to you. And they want the whole country to be an open sieve with illegal immigrants raping your daughters. Go ahead and go to that channel. You're not really welcome here. All right? Thanks. Thanks for coming here. Well, let's be clear. Wow, Business Insider. Impeaching Donald Trump, high crimes and misdemeanors. Oh, we've got a resolution put out by another person despite. Yeah, we've got somebody else introducing. Nadler has introduced another a resolution for more impeachment. Okay, this is kind of interesting. 755 resolution, House Resolution 755. They're going to impeach him on high crimes and misdemeanors now. Oh, nice. I didn't know. Oh, no, this is the resolution. Yeah, this is abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Right, this is the resolution. I thought now there was up to something better, like going after the Russian collusion issues or cheating in the election. That would have been better, but oh well, they chose something, I guess. It's better than nothing. It wasn't enough, but they clearly didn't realize that. Okay, we've got a story here in Business. Jeffrey Epstein was accused of sex trafficking young girls on his mysterious private island over 40 years ago. A different billionaire escaped justice in a stunningly similar case. The alleged crimes on North Fox Island tie into the series of unsolved murders. So right near Little St. James Island is a North Fox Island where another guy did the same thing to girls. The story of Francis Sheldon and North Fox Island has been tied to a series of unsolved child murders that occurred in the Detroit suburbs more than 4 decades ago. Wow, that's really interesting. I did not know that. It's kind of like Jeffrey Epstein probably was their backup plan to continue the enslavement and torture of children and the use of blackmail against politicians. Amazing. Spicy show, yeah. Definitely when we get attacked by so many people, they're only creating the problem that they themselves cannot solve. When they come in here and do this, they just arouse the worst and the best in everybody. Trump's not stepping down already as a national disgrace. Oh no, he's running for re-election. I don't think you get it. It looks like the Republicans are trying to ramrod this thing through so they don't have to have anybody, no witnesses, because they don't want to be called to testify. None of the Republicans want to reveal what's happening. So they've decided that Pelosi's right. Let's just get this thing moving along. Doom, 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 and it's done. And Trump will, of course, be exonerated and allowed to remain president till his next term, where he's still running for re-election as he continues to do nothing for us right now. And by the way, the wall is not built. We showed you a live leak of people climbing over the wall tonight. It's amazing what goes on. This is a standard operation now for illegal aliens who want to get over the border fence. Take a look at this. I'm going to play it for you now. Take a look. No problemo, man. It's no problem. We can get over the fence, no problem. He built an inferior fence. It's a joke. You can get through it with a device you could buy for $59.95 at Home Depot. I mean, the whole thing's a disaster. Trump is a complete and utter disgrace to this country. His ideas are nonsensical, and he doesn't listen to anybody contest him, or he fires them. Can you imagine a more incompetent president than we've got right now? I can't. And then the House, get this, has approved a $738 billion military bill with money set aside for Trump's Space Force. Now, we're already $1 trillion over budget. And with Trump and the Democrats, next year will be $1.34 trillion over budget. So if you were to live off a credit card, you'd be on your 15th credit card and they'd be calling you on the phone asking for the first 14 credit cards payments. Our government just prints up more money and it hurts all of us in the process. They have to borrow money from the World Bank. That's how we're tied to this new world order. They continue to borrow money, and it's ironic. We're never going to end up ahead of this game. We're going to always be owing the World Bank unless we do something drastic like build a third party.
In a world where base rules the planet.
So, we're here every night to talk about the Zionist-led New World Order. The Zionist-occupied government we have, the two-party system, is being hijacked by global elitists to push this global world order, and Trump is being their puppet. Well, the World Bank is the people they are the ones that issue treasury notes to the U.S. government that then sell those notes to make money. We borrow money from the World Bank, and every time we do, it adds to our national debt. Well, our global situation is getting worse and worse. The World Bank, or let's say the world debt clock, or rather the U.S. debt clock, is ticking away, and the numbers are staggering. The U.S. national debt is now close to 22 trillion. Look at that. It's changing so fast. There it is. Okay, it's 23 trillion is our national debt. We crossed over the barrier a couple days ago. So we're now at 23 trillion at the rate we're spending, and Trump keeps spending more and more, now increasing the budget for the military to $738 billion, and the House approves, which is crazy. So both the House and the Republicans, the Democrats and Republicans are both in agreement. They want to spend more money, which puts us even more beholden to the World Bank for loans, which makes it impossible to meet the interest on the debt. So right now, our national income is barely making the interest on the debt as we enlarge the debt every day. All to finance an incompetent government run by Democrats and Republicans. That's what's going on. David, when did you decide to run for office? When I was 8 years old, I decided to put a plan together to run for office. The plan fell through a few times because I was falsely treated as a white person, unable to get a college education in the area I chose. That was one problem, reverse discrimination, a victim of affirmative action, whereas Elizabeth Warren cheated, claiming she's Cherokee Indian. I didn't get any money to go to college, even though I was the #1 student in my high school. And that's a fact. Anyway, I went on to college, still trying to break through that barrier and get a degree in law. But unfortunately, I ran into nothing but Marxists in every political science department in California. So I decided, no, that's not for me either. So I went into private business at that point. But then I found that there's the barriers to private business. We actually are all victims of corporatism. And whenever you run a small business, you're automatically forced to abide by corporatist markups. And it was hurting my advertising business. So after years and years in advertising, I said, I'm just going to focus on what I want to do, and that's run for president. So I ran a local campaign in 2014, but prior to that, in 2008, Sarah ran a local campaign. And it was, back in 2008, when Sarah first ran, I was doing research on Washington State, where we live. And we found out the state debt was about $16 billion at the time. Well, we really wanted to help lower the cost of spending, but we found out that wasn't going to happen in the state of Washington. Yeah, our debt is $89 billion now after 11 years. We went from $16 billion in debt to $89 billion in debt in Washington because people like Sarah and I didn't get elected. But we tried, but our spending is going through the roof because we're a liberal state in Washington. And it's spending way more than it should in every area. And they're continuing to do it. All these Democrats, Republicans continue to waste money left and right. It's beyond belief. We need to reapportion money that we are spending in areas that make difference to help people get jobs and to fix the homeless problem in an equitable way. But they don't even know what they're doing with money. They're completely lost. Yes, Froggy, that's correct. In Portland, Oregon, the enclave of democratic thinking, they came up with a thing called a Portland loo. And I'm going to show you something that's a toilet that all these democratic communities are buying for their area. It's disturbing. What I'm about to show you is relatively disturbing. This thing, which is sitting on the page here, let me show it to you. It's called a Portland loo. Now, homeless people need places to go to the bathroom and to wash up, right? Well, this Portland loo is $300,000+. And all it is for that device right there is $300,000. Talk about markup. All it is a toilet. It's disgusting, actually. Let me show you what this is. They walk in and they have a toilet which doesn't even have flushing ability, with a chemical inside of it, and a dispenser for that antibacterial cream that causes bacteria to mutate. That's it. And maybe a TP roll. But this is $300,000. This is how poorly sourced this money is going into the hands of corrupt people. Every one of those is $300,000. So you got to really ask yourself, what's going on with the spending practices of these democratic libtards? I can maybe use that for the show, sure. It's called America's Third Party. Yeah, it is our show. So here's Greta saying she's winning against conspiracies. Really? Thanks, Techwalla. The endless conspiracy theories and denial of facts, she says. Okay. Well, she's being the George Soros puppet that she is. She's now going after all the people that have been asking her, why don't you talk about chemtrails? The endless conspiracy theories and denial of the facts, the lies and hate and bullying of children who communicate and act on the science, all because some adults terrified of change so desperately don't want to talk about the climate crisis. This is hope in disguise. We're winning. Oh my God, what a fool. If only this woman or girl or whatever you want to call her would mention the simple idea that we should get rid of chemtrails, she'd win me over. But she won't mention the word chemtrail. Welcome, Prison Honda Teiko from Tokyo. Hello, Piston Honda. Welcome. Welcome to the show. We are watched by so many people in Japan. I appreciate that. And you too, Victory for Cake in Albania. Welcome. Yeah, that's Greta just using her obvious think speech to control our brains using the Soros byline. It's all our fault when they're the ones that produce the industrial waste and dump it on our heads every day. Oh, okay, the dance techno song. Let me see what that says. That's the first time with permadeath. Denigrating. Oh, that's my recent dance techno song I created. Yeah, it's kind of like a repeating loop. I put that on as a backup. It's called Repeater. I make these things to just put in the background of the song. It's not copyright controlled, so I can play it on the show. If I put a link out there, somebody would copy it, claim it's theirs, and then claim I'm violating my own copyright agreement. So I'm not purposely not putting it on any cloud sharing device. David, I know there's just one more thing. The people of Arlington National, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. What do you want to talk about? Chemtrail, yes, is a portmanteau of words chemical and trail. That's correct. And if you want to know more about chemicals in the air, I created a website called chemtrailparty.com. You can go check it out. Yeah, I've got a full link library there you can investigate. There's ample evidence this is happening above us. The skies above us. So I'm dedicated to no chemtrails, folks. And also a big part of our plan, unlike Trump, who doesn't have any concern for the environment at all, a big part of our plan is to actually begin the innovation process of creating air filtration devices for all of you. We're talking about portable units that you can use in your home or in your car using a plug to go to your cigarette lighter. Count on the government creating these things and getting them on the market at a very low cost, and recycling the filters that you clog up. We want to make your living environment as clean as possible, wherever you are. And that's going to be a big thrust in my administration. Similarly, if you're suffering from any water pollution in your area like we are, we're going to be offering point-of-use water filters that will compete and rival with some of the top brands today on the market. The government will be competing in the private sector. This is what I call hybrid capitalism. It's a way of charging up our country's engine of commerce, where the government no longer has to rely solely on tax dollars to grow, rather can start producing and competing in the free market. I know a lot of people consider this to be socialism. It's not. It's a completely brand new form of economics that I created called hybrid capitalism. Sarah and I wrote a book about it. You can download the book at our store on America's Third Party site. It's 99 cents for a Kindle download. But these are the ideas that are central to our solution to cleaning the planet and helping solve the problem, not just complain about it like Greta. There's an important issue to think about too, is something that I've been concerned about. There is no law that prevents censorship in America. And this is keen to me because I'm a victim of censorship. The past 11 years, I've had 0 minutes or seconds on screen on the mainstream media. They purposely have put everything they could away from our show. They're doing everything to stop us from reaching out. Okay, this is again a warning. Okay, cars don't come with cigarette lighters anymore, Dave. Well, then they'll have a problem. We'll have USB jack air filter systems that will be able to portably jack up to your USB. It'll have both cigarette lighters and, of course, USB jacks and AC adapters as well. So she talks about negativity online? Really? Oh, okay. That'll be good for the end of the show. Start of the after show. Okay, great. We'll do that. Okay, that's great. Thank you for putting that out there. That was the Ellen DeGeneres show. Really? A PC game I could put out there for free kids to learn about the economy. Okay, I'll check that out. Thanks, Original Sky Scion. Called Money Town. Yeah, that'll be good. People want to know about money. Now, the fairness doctrine was the only thing that was ever put out in our country that would give us any chance of curtailing censorship, and that's been nullified for a long time. The government has done nothing to prevent the censorship that's been happening in the mainstream media. And when they started using this word fake news, and Trump uses it all the time to describe everything that they talk about him, but he never uses it to describe any of the false flag events like the shootings that allegedly occur and may not have occurred. And he never mentions that, but ironically, the fairness doctrine is the one thing that I'll be bringing back as president. And this is the simple structure of the Fairness Doctrine. It came out right after Hitler took over Germany, and then we won the war. The FCC introduced in 1949 a policy that requires the holders of broadcast licenses to both present controversial issues of public importance and to do so in a manner that was, in the FCC's view, honest, equitable, and balanced. Now, YouTube knocking out conservative sites or anybody mentioning this or that is not balanced. It's far from balanced. In fact, what YouTube is doing would be a gross offense of the Fairness Doctrine, and I would use the Fairness Doctrine to prosecute them and begin a process of antitrust monopoly busting. I plan on taking down Google as president and bringing back Google as a socially democratic facility that can solve problems for average people. And anybody who gets banned on YouTube will have a chance to review this procedure and talk to real people. Right now, we're seeing an unbelievable conspiracy to take down credible discourse on YouTube. Seriously. So we'll do everything we can to get accountability from YouTube and Google when that day comes. But until then, you and I are without any laws in America preventing censorship. Thanks, Petoro. I have to do some cleaning here. I'm going to add that save image. Unfortunately. Do we want the government dictating? No, we don't. No, but unfortunately, the government is dictating business right now. Google is owned by the government as it is. Under a national socialist plan, our country already owns Google. We own it through a sub-corporation, a shell corporation called In-Q-Tel. It's the subsidiary of DARPA and the Department of Defense. They own most of Google, and most of Facebook is owned by Google. So essentially, Mark Zuckerberg is just a figurehead at that company. I'll call that Greta time. It's Greta time. It's Greta time. Yeah.
Started learning about climate change at what age?
Yeah, I got to endure listening to that girl talk. I don't know if I can. Cheap gas? Who needs gas cans when you could have cheap gas? Oh my gosh, she's filling up a bag of gas in a plastic bag. Look at this. Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable. She's getting gas in a plastic bag. Oh my goodness. Look at how dangerous that is. Yeah, this woman shouldn't be driving a vehicle when she's buying gas in a plastic bag. Oh my goodness. You know, this happened to a couple, about 5 or 6 people in America, actually Seattle, Washington, about 8 years ago. 5 illegal aliens from Thailand came into the area, and they had a van, and they ran out of gas in their van, and they decided to fill up their water bottles, their empty water bottles, with gas, and then because they ran out of gas, they came back to their van and got in their van, and they took their water bottles, opened up the carburetor on their van, and in order to get the vehicle started, they sprayed the gas into the carburetor. Well, they all were immolated. The whole family, 5 people, were burned to death in the van that day. It's quite common for people who don't even understand a combustion engine that anything bad could happen. Then there have been cases of people from other countries moving into America and then moving into like an apartment building and then cooking inside with a hibachi, like an open grill with coals. And they close the windows to stay warm. And they all die of carbon monoxide poisoning. This is not uncommon. I'm serious. And it's not funny. But it happens in our country. There are people that are just lost. They don't even know why they're here. I guess they were fleeing their war-torn hellhole where they couldn't find coals or a hibachi. Priming the car. They were running the car by pushing gas into the carburetor to make it go. They didn't want to go outside and put fuel in the tank with their water bottles. They were shooting it into the carburetor to make the engine keep going. Trump's executive order to allow religious Zionists and evangelicals to define what it means to be a true Jew has implications to free speech and the New Testament through this fascist, zealot, tyrannical proclamation. I totally agree with you, 704. Jeff, I told you I don't want you here. You're not supposed to be in the show. I'm going to report you if you keep this up. Gosh. You know, you have lost your way, and you should go back to your mother and maybe move in with her. She's right now addicted to shopping on the Home Shopping Network, and her house is filled with crap. And you're going to wonder how I know that. This guy's going, how did he know that? You better stop her from buying stuff at the Home Shopping Network. You'll be broke. Your whole family will. I'm just giving you a warning there, 69th Party. Yeah. Your mom is buying everything in the sun. We have a neighbor in my area who gets shipments every day. FedEx shipments. You know that's going on. Oh, Mom's buying something on the Home Shopping Network again. Hasn't she spent like $20,000 a year on that? I know, we're running out of money, I know. Yeah, the fact that Trump has become such a Zionist shill for the New World Order ought to shock a lot of you Republicans, but you don't even know what we're talking about. A lot of retardicans don't even know what Zionism is. Well, I like Trump. He's a good, strong American who supports Israel. No, he doesn't really support Israel. If he was, he wouldn't declare that everybody in Israel is a Jew. Kiefer boy, are you even here to say anything positive? Or are you just getting ready to troll me? I'm going to pass on that one, thank you. Yeah, it looks like a bot. I'm beginning to believe all those UK things are bots. Yeah, they keep pumping links in here to the UK news, but yeah, I'm going to go with the opposite. Gas news. Oh, here's another case of a person filling up. Oh my gosh. That person emoliated. Some kid lit a match or something. Let's take a look at this dangerous situation that could happen in Spain or wherever a Spanish-speaking country is. Whoa. That can't be fun. Yeah, the kid looked like he ignited something in the back of the truck. Wow. Okay, thanks for the warning. Not smart. If the timing is off, it can send a fireball out of the car. Thank you, Reptoid, for verifying what I said about 15 minutes ago. All I'm saying is that the FBI was correct in telling Carter Page, you shouldn't go visit the Russians. They're trying to recruit U.S. officials, U.S. political officials. And Carter Page should have listened to that FBI warning, which was with a proper FISA order. It had been signed by a judge, too. You Republicans have no way to respond to that. Carter Page clearly didn't respond to their warning that the Russians were recruiting U.S. political officials, and that's when this whole thing started slipping down the slippery slope toward Russian collaboration. You have only yourselves to blame, all of you retardicans. You're not going to win the country over in 2020, I assure you. You're only dividing the country. You think you're winning with a close margin 50-50. You're actually dividing the country and causing the American people to hate both parties. Good job, retardicans. And same with you, Democrats. Nice work. You're helping my job every single day you continue to walk the line of Zionism. I'm not a Zionist, unlike Biden and Trump and Clinton and all the others. I'm anti-Zionist. I'm against a New World Order. I am supportive of Israel as an ally, though. I see no reason to disembark our relationship with Israel. But we will have to tell Israel some very hard truths, and that is that they cannot receive money unless they sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Agreement, which many other nations have signed. Trump should have put that in front of them 2 years ago, but he refuses. He's simply an apologist for the Zionists. Israel simply should say, hey, they have nuclear weapons, and they're admitting what they do have, and that would solve a lot of problems right there. I can't guarantee it's going to make any difference with Iran. But I can tell you that if they don't do that, the Trumps have absolutely no idea what they're up to. They're playing a very, very sick money game in a world of nuclear options, and it's not good. When you get a greedy group of people like the Trumps in power, and they're moving on all these important issues, like siding with Israel, pushing for a new world order, ultimately it pushes the barrier of nuclear warfare closer and closer to the forefront. They say that we're getting closer to the nuclear time clock of the 12 o'clock hour because of Trump. His relationship with Putin is very well noted. And it's important to note that he never ever recorded any of his conversations with Putin. Not once. That's beyond belief for most people. It's like, why wouldn't he record his conversations with Putin? For one, he doesn't want anyone to know. There's no tapes of Putin whatsoever. He's had 13 hours with this guy privately, and he's never taped one single minute. He did try to get rid of the tapes that they had. Initially, there was a stenographer that recorded their first meeting, but he did destroy those tapes, and we have proof of that. We also know that he's not presented any tax returns, which he himself said he would show no problem, and hasn't. Another sign of guilt. These are significant signs that you can't just wiggle out of. Notice that these are not the talking points that the Democrats have. These are real talking points. These are not the minor, meaningless talking points that the Democrats pitch out. Trump can't answer these questions. It's a big, big sore spot here, and it shows me that the IRS returns point to his oligarch connections and how they funded his entire operation since 2008. When the mortgage debacle was happening, Donald Trump, his business was cash rich. He would go into businesses and bring in suitcases full of cash. Now that's a sure sign of money laundering and a sure sign of underworld finagling with mobsters. That's a sure sign. And because he won't represent his IRS tax returns means that he's hiding something very important that is germane to his impeachment. But technically, the IRS returns aren't really part of the articles of impeachment the Democrats chose. So it's almost made it incidental, which is strange considering why would Pelosi be protecting the deep state? Because she too gets money from AIPAC. And I wouldn't doubt her son is making money from Ukrainian oligarchs or Russian Ukrainian oligarchs. Paul Pelosi makes money from a big oil firm. And the no tapes of Putin, any conversations at all, imply that Donald Trump is hiding his relationship. In 3 years, he hasn't recorded anything. Now, if I were under investigation for 3 years, I would have recorded everything. I would have had stenographers there meeting every time I talked. We would have audio tapes of my conversations with President Zelensky. We've got nothing. That's one of the reasons why we've got so many questions about the recent testimony of 12 people who said emphatically that there was quid pro quo. All right, so since Trump is no longer attacking the deep state, never did actually, he's actually supported Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Remember, I was the truther candidate. I was the guy who was the birther candidate. I was the one that was going to, prosecute Obama for fraud. Trump dropped the whole issue, like it didn't even matter. He then said that Obama was born in Honolulu, and many people, 38% of the country, still don't believe that. So Trump never really did anything to stop the deep state. So when you say he stopped the deep state, he hasn't at all. And Trump is also encouraging gun control with his red flag laws, which is another reason why you shouldn't vote for him in 2020. Yeah, we're not going to do any of those stupid... Yeah, we're not going to... And the more you come in here, the more likely you're a robot. I'm beginning to believe that this UK person is a robot trying to constantly send people to ridiculous UK channels. So you'll be permabanned all the time now. You're now on the permaban list for not ever abiding by my wishes. The tax stuff is important. Not so what about his tax shit. It would reveal the money he made from oligarchs. You don't believe he was birthed in Hawaii too? Yeah, I know. A lot of people in the 60s used to say that people came into the country illegally by going through Hawaii. That's exactly what Barack Obama did. But with the fact that Donald Trump dropped the Hawaiian birther issue of Obama is really indicative of how Trump has flipped completely in favor of the deep state. He does whatever they tell him to do. Now your Republicans have to get out of your mind that Donald Trump is fighting the deep state. He's not. He's part of the same two-party control that they have over our country. The reality is Donald Trump and the Democrats are both working for the same people. Did you know that George Soros is a good friend of Donald Trump's? And then when people have said bad things about George Soros, Trump comes to George Soros' defense. It's happened on camera. Don't think for a second that Trump isn't part of the deep state. He is. And that's what I have to convince all of you retardicans about, and you Democrats. Hey, thanks, Scissor Fight, for terminating that retardican over there. I don't like Democrats either. Believe me, they don't seem to have a clue as to how to handle the budget. But look at Trump. Our budget went from $496 billion to now to $738 billion for the military. That's a big jump. 496 to 738. That's a huge jump, and we don't even have the money to cover that. It shows you Donald Trump is supporting the military-industrial complex, and they're part of the deep state. That's another example of how he supports the deep state. Trump rubber stamps their military budget. If he was really fighting the deep state, he'd be saying no to their huge expenses. I hope some of my logic is getting through to you, some of you people, and I'm sorry I've had to call you retardicans and Democrats, but I'm here to build a third party. I'm not going to mince words when it comes to telling you how wrong the mainstream media narrative is. These are important issues that we haven't even heard in the mainstream media. Have you heard any mention of Donald Trump's tax returns by any of the Democratic pundits? No. They veritably gave up the idea of getting his tax returns. Ruth Bader Ginsburg just stopped his tax returns from getting read. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of all people, stopped his tax returns from getting read. Why would she do that? All these things are telltale signs of guilt on Donald Trump's part. But in order to establish a new America that's dedicated to cleaning the environment, producing new jobs through innovation, a homestead renewal plan, in order to do all this, we absolutely need a third party. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. How come that's not in the news? Well, her last will and wish was to somehow give Donald Trump a pass if indeed she just died. I didn't know. No, she's still on record as being alive. Yeah. Do you think they've got a robot in there right now? This story is very seriously messed up. I mean, why would a woman like her temporarily block the release of Trump's financial records? I think she may still be alive.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is now recovering back at home after she was hospitalized Friday for what was described as chills and fever. Kristen Fisher.
Chills and fever. Wait a second. Isn't that a song by... I don't know what his name was. Oh, yeah. Tom Jones. Chills and fever. Chills and fever, right. Bringing up Tom Jones. Chills and fever. One moment, please. Chills and fever. Chills and fever. Yeah, he was one of the greats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apparently it's not coming up. He does, I know. Well, we can't bring that video to you for some reason. David, have you ever seen the snap of Fox News accidentally running a RIP headline 6 months ago? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, but it was only because they thought she was dead. Yeah. I found out I can't play Chills and Fever. It's monetized by Google, and they'll charge me if they do. You know, if any one of you would come in here and type that message again, I'm going to ban you. Because I'm the guy who said that we would seek an impeachment, and there would be an impeachment. I'm also the guy that told you that Pelosi is the one who would be selling out to the deep state, protecting Donald Trump, who isn't fighting the deep state. You're going to have to rethink this because a lot of you retardicans have bought into the QAnon garbage that the CIA created. No, you are X-Gen. Anyone born after 1960 are X-Gen. I'm X-Gen. Well, bottom line is rich people there aren't many rich people left. And there are a lot of poor people. And the middle class is virtually wiped out. So now there's the rich people and the people who aren't rich, meaning they're what, poor? So the problem is you're trying to build a positive stereotype for rich people when they're the ones that are stealing the money from all the poor people. And how do they do that? Through usurious banking maneuvers. Having the ability to invest in stocks, whereas most of us can only get 0.01% on our savings account. It's all stacked against the average man. They designed a system that the elites can just manipulate and print money for themselves and control our elections through buying off public officials. It's that simple. No, if your family is filthy rich, you've never made a single donation to our show. So I think you're a liar, and I'm going to put you on mute waivers for now. Because if you had a filthy rich family, you would have made a $20 donation to our show. In fact, I'm going to leave you in that status, but if you come back with that garbage and keep supporting rich people in our show, go ahead and join the greedmongers in the Republican Party. They basically assemble so that they can pat each other's pockets. But you don't belong here. So you will be banned next time you start talking like that. On a only 7-minute long shock, Denver Airport is New World Airport. She mentions chemtrail twin towers. Okay. Oh, Microsoft is going to try to sell Windows 7 Pro users their account, a 2020 end of support deadline. That's wrong.
Denver, Colorado is home.
Well, bottom line, Tekwala, you better repost that tweet on a new account because that tweet has a lot of power to it. But again, if they're shadow banning you, you're going to have to open up new accounts and work your Twitter. Work your Twitter, buddy. You're good at it. You could probably do that. You need to get out and do something because they're hitting you hard, man. Shadow banning a guy with your number of followers. Oh my God. You got the power. Oh my God. The art murals at Denver Airport. Yeah, this is a good video for tonight. Sure, why not? That's a waste of our time. I can't see anything more fun than wasting our time tonight. Unbelievable. So if you're here to support rich people, get the hell out of this party, okay? Thank you. You don't belong here if you support rich people, blah, 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 and oh, how rich your family is. Screw you!
to America's largest airport called the Denver New World Airport. The airport was built by Freemasons in 1995.
Yeah, I know. You went from, I believe, close to 80,000 subscribers to 54,000. I saw a major drop there. Yeah, we don't want you rich bastards to come in here. I have funded this on an anti-money scheme, and for you scumbag retardicans camping out here like a bunch of greedmongers, get the hell out of this party, please. I bind you in the name of the Lord, whatever that means.
And features a Freemasonic dedication capstone in the atrium.
Wow, this is really a New World Order place, the Denver airport. You know, there's no cheaper construction value than what they put into the New World Order Denver airport. It's unbelievably how cheap they made it. It's like tents with fiberglass sprayed on top of it. But you know something? It was the most expensive airport in the world to build. Because it's got 16 floors down below that lead to underground chambers. Beep, 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 censored, beep, 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 censored, beep, beep. And that way they can live after the aftermath of the apocalypse. I hope you got all that. Nothing was censored, was it? Money is created out of thin air, I know. If we got back to the original idea that Ron Paul had with End the Fed, build say one denomination that has backing with gold, silver, platinum, oil, liquid hydrogen, whatever, but give it some real value and make that denomination like a $500 bill, or better yet, a $300 bill. You'd see so many drug dealers and rich people. Yeah, make it copper too, because copper is going to be in demand. You'd see so many rich people shitting themselves and growing buttholes all over themselves and shitting some more. They wouldn't know what to do because they've hedged their idea of the future on this exchangeable currency of debt notes. And you put something like a solid backed denomination, and you will see a major flee to the banks just to transfer money, and they'll come in crate loads full of hundreds, and we'll find them and we'll stop them. We can assign a Treasury Department person to every single bank in America to make sure that anybody doing a transfer of funds of more than $10,000 is recorded, and we can put them into an RFID system and put their face and their retinal print on there and the whole thing, preventing them from doing it again another month later. So drug dealers won't be able to flush their money in and out. And all the people overseas will wonder what they are doing with their money in suitcases filled. Hundreds of millions of $100 bills are out there. Right now, only 27% of our currency is being used in the United States. The rest is being stored in rail cars around the world against inflation. So believe me, that alone prevents a BRIC nation takeover of our monetary system worldwide. So the threat of the petrodollar is not that great. They say, oh yeah, anytime now the US dollar is going to collapse. No, the US dollar is almost the most important thing in the world right now. And we're doing fine. But the problem is we've got an imbecile for a president who thinks you can keep borrowing and that's going to give you more money. No, borrowing creates debt, and debt drags down solvency. He's working in the opposite direction to what this country should be going in, towards solvency. And he hasn't put a plan together to end the Fed, I assure you. So Donald Trump is not only a 20th century politician in a 21st century, he's like a dinosaur because he doesn't understand the mental acuity necessary to understand we're entering a new age where we have to develop new technologies to appeal to the rest of the world. We've got to change with the times, and we haven't done diddly squat with him. All he does is talk about what a great thing the economy's doing and how wonderful it is. That's a joke. We are actually declining worldwide because of Trump as our president. So we can get back on top, but we can't do it with a complete money monger like him. The Occupy movement converted into the Antifa movement, Mozart. It was originally funded by George Soros and still gets money from George Soros to run. Yeah, they're now Antifa members. Yeah, really bad people, if you ask me, like Tulsi Gabbard. She's Antifa, I'm pretty sure she is. alt-leftists that have these weird, bizarre theories that they're going to have a communist takeover of this great nation, they're lost. Here's a group of Tulsi's friends. One of them is a gun runner for the Antifa group. There she is making the sign of the devil. And at the bottom is this gun runner. He's a gun guy for the Antifa group. Isn't that weird? Where she's standing there like an idiot with the Antifa group. So she's probably the closest person we have to the Communist Party. And then there's Pete Buttplug. I'm Pete Buttgig, who is absolutely a corporate shill. This organization he ran with that says he can't even talk about 3 years he worked for these people. It's like he was put out there as a PR move, like a trick, like Obama was the first black guy. This guy's the first gay guy. And they're using that as a gimmick to win the Democrats over. No, that's a sign of the devil, man. Yeah, it's not a surfer sign. Unless a lot of people in Hawaii are worshiping Satan. I don't go to Hawaii. I wouldn't be caught dead in Hawaii. Or rather, I would be caught dead in Hawaii because Hawaii is not a good place for people like me. No, I actually think that Hawaii is one of those states that we could actually sell to a country like Japan. Oh no, I told you, you're permabanned here. You're not allowed to come in under any name. Yeah, I've even talked about selling Hawaii to Japan. We don't need Hawaii. It's not really doing us any good. We can keep Malachi and a couple other islands for strategic purposes. We can retain our base in Honolulu, but I'm sure Japan would love to work a deal where they could get Hawaii. Why not? I would love to make that happen, and at the same time, retain the 50 states that we have by opening up a new state of Jefferson in California. The biggest problem with California is how big it is and how it's taking voting rights away from other states. There's lesser states with smaller populations. By splitting up California and turning the lower part of California into California, with still remaining Sacramento as its capital, and then turning the northern part, Jefferson, having a capital in San Francisco, we would change the dimension of our country completely. I could see doing that and allowing a California bifurcation of their state and making that a possibility, retaining 50 states during that process. I believe it would give us a tremendous amount of capital building. Selling to Japan would erase at least $2.5 trillion worth of our debt, maybe even $3 trillion. They would be. We'd have to negotiate that, though, of course, if they would be willing to do that. If they did, it would be a big boost to our economy, and the dollar would rebound immensely. We could also offer California a perk by saying, hey, by keeping the lower end, you will be able to maintain your water control over Shasta. We won't in any way impact the same amount of water from the Sacramento River will continue to flow into Southern California. That's really the only problem that could result with a separation of the state, because theoretically the northern state of Jefferson could veritably control the water supply at Shasta and really hurt Southern California, and I don't think that should happen. So we have to make sure that the water rights are secure. You know, I don't think Catalina right now is the home to a hell of a lot of fugitives. There's probably more fugitives per capita in Catalina Island than any place in the world. I know, I've been there. Yeah, I had a kind of a nightmare relationship with a woman when I was 18 years old, and oh, it was terrible. She ended up moving to Catalina for her own purposes, and then she met all these criminals. And I had a chance to meet a few of these people. They were all fleeing prosecution from somewhere else. It was weird. So it's possible Catalina could be like a prison. But no, I don't want to make 5 states. I just want to keep the number at 50. You know, I never did. I'm not a person who would do that. Yeah, you're not in the right room. This is not a sex room. You guys are really failing in your effort to attack us here. You don't have much going on, do you? Thanks, Hawkster. Take care, man. It's been great having you in the show. David doesn't even read his chat. It's sad. Not true. Vote for David. But you created the account just a few minutes ago. I'm going to ban you from the show. All right. Victory for Cake took 58 refreshes to get in the show. There's so much censorship going on. Yeah, some of you buffer for 30 minutes to get in here. True Blues having buffering problems. You know, I've been telling you guys to check us out at Periscope. I don't know why you don't watch us over there. Yeah, if you want to catch our Periscope show, just go to @thirdparty and follow us on Twitter. You'll get right into our Periscope show and start chatting. I don't know why you guys just don't go over there. What is your problem? You keep buffering to get in here. Why don't you just go to Periscope? We need a huge audience over there. An abandoned house, junkyard, found a Mercedes. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look at some beautiful women, too.
What?
What?
What's up, guys? Today we are
getting views. These guys have a smaller number of subscribers, but they're looking at finding a Mercedes in an abandoned house. That'll be good. And then this one from Fox News.
Joins us live from Washington with the latest on her recovery. Kristen?
Well, Dana, a spokeswoman for the Supreme Court says Justice Ginsburg is back at home and doing well after being treated for a possible infection. She spent 2 nights at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, where she received an IV with antibiotics and fluids, and she was well enough to return home to Washington on Sunday. But it's been a tough 12 months for Justice Ginsburg. She's faced several health scares over the past year.
So what she's done now is she's released from the hospital, but now she's blocking any release of Trump's financial records. Anybody have a clue as to why she would want to block the release of Trump's financial records? I don't have any clue as to why she'd want to block the reveal of his corruption at a time when he's being impeached. Well, have you tried Twitch? Hoxter's over there right now. Why don't you get into Twitch and use this as an alternative? 58 refreshes can't be fun. Well, I don't think she should have blocked anything. This is crazy. She's allowing his financial records to remain secret from House Democrats. Why? This is insane. She's clearly been bought off. Somebody said, well, you want to live, Miss Ginsburg? You know, you're going to have to do the right thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's the kind of... You're blacklisted on Twitch, too? Wow. That's crazy. So we need a brand new chat room. All of us do. And you got a fixing of a busted manifold. Dun, 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 dun. I've done that one before. I repaired a busted manifold in my VW van back in the 70s.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey. This is probably going to be about part 3 on the 65 Econoline pickup that I rescued from our property that's been sitting in.
Those are hard to get parts for. Good job. Okay, I'll play that tonight as well. Thank you, Scissor Fight. A lot of wasteful stuff for tonight's Wasteful Wednesday. We talked about investing in rare earth metals. Hello, sir. You are not able to complete your effort here has failed. You need to completely stop your trolling of our show. Any effort you engage in will be permanently banned from the show. What you're doing is creating a karmic backlash. You think it's a mild offense to come in and attack some innocent, nice person trying to help the country. What I'm telling you will create a karmic backlash, and you will end up in a bad situation long term. This isn't Hillary angry. We're not talking about bad people hurting you. You're not going to be on the Clinton body count list or anything like that. What you're going to encounter is just incredibly bad luck. Unfortunately, that's what happens to people who engage in this type of behavior against me. Because I'm good, you're automatically bad trying to stop me. And it's going to ultimately put you here.
Now, when I was down there, I saw a vat of fire. Huge vat of fire with liquid boiling hot lava and God's eternal judgment. And I saw demons laughing and dragging souls over.
So that'll be your destiny. So enjoy your ride on the way down to hell if you keep trolling us, censoring us. My goodness. How dare you? Or you may find yourself in a very unusual predicament. God forbid, but maybe somebody was standing next to you in a gas station and a cell phone goes off. And you know, cell phones can start a fire like this at a gas pump. God forbid this happens to you, but bad things happen to people. Yeah. We wouldn't want that to happen. We've got Moneytown tonight. That'll be a cute little cartoon. I can't wait to find that one out. Yeah, it happens all over. People filling up gas cans by... This woman is so out of it, she's filling up a gas can in a plastic bag. Look at this. She's got sloshing around in the plastic bag, and she wants to double bag it, so... Is that a Fred Meyer? No, it's a Kroger. Okay, well, they're part of the Fred Meyer family. Yeah, so that can't be good for her. Hopefully she'll get through that. We talked a little bit about the spending of the Democrats in my area. This device called a Portland Loo cost $330,000. Talk about a ripoff. It's just a hole in the ground with a dispenser for antibacterial soap. Can you believe this? $339,000. And look at the quality inside. It looks like a prison-issue toilet. And that's what the Democrats are spending money on in my area. Unbelievable. So we talked about government waste big time. She's so horny. Yeah. She's getting her plastic bag full of gasoline. Pot, what do you have to say? Pot, I have a question for you. I'm going to pose a question on the screen. And if you can answer the question, you'll be able to stay in the show. Okay? Here we go. The question is, what is this times this equal to? What is the answer to this question? Pot. You are correct. Okay, good. You can stay then. You're not an Autobot. Globally jobber. What's the answer to the question? Oh, you got it. 24. That's correct. Good. You can stay too, globally jobber. Okay, good. You have been banned due to violations of the terms of service of this show. These people are paid to come in and harass us. It's kind of sad. And that's just sad, see? You know, I had so much fun tonight, I can't even control myself. When I go past 10 o'clock and I don't even know that I'm going past 10 o'clock, you know I'm in the groove. Yeah, look up the Portland Loo. It'll blow your mind. They just put about 7 of those things in my area. Or I'm going to say 5. 5 of those Portland Loos cost about $2 million. And, you know, they went from, in my area, they used to have the best showers at our local beach, our public beach. It was the most incredible shower. It was all temperature controlled, and the water was like really hard. For 75 cents, you could get like a 10-minute shower. I remember coming to this area when I was, 25 years ago, and we didn't have a place to live. And I said, I'm going to try the shower out. I went in there and I tried the shower out. It was so great. What they did, this local community, they spent millions of dollars reshaping the coastal area. They got rid of a trailer park that was bringing in a revenue of $300,000 a year. They wiped it out and put plants in instead that need constant weeding and working with gardeners. They got rid of all the concrete, which allowed the plants to come up, and now the weeds are coming up. And they put those 5 Portland loos in, and they put a couple of stadiums that are too close together. And nobody even knows if they even thought about this, but they got rid of the showers and all the running water. So there's no running water at all for the homeless people. Nobody can wash their face. So I'm sure the bathrooms at Walmart will be pretty busily, visited for the most of the year. The bathrooms at Walmart will probably be the one place people will shower in. No, this isn't blonde. This is my normal hair color. It's the color of the camera. It has a thing where the camera actually. Well, we didn't have a place to live when we first moved here. I mean, who does when you move to a new area? I moved from Los Angeles, California, the city. Is that better? And I worked for a long time in California, and for 35 years I lived there, and I fought the freeways and the whole thing, and I moved up here, and it was like a really nice transition, but we didn't really have a place to live initially. We had to, buy a piece of land, and I moved my entire family up here. I knew I had to get my family, and my parents especially, out of Los Angeles because it was killing them. My dad they gave him 1 year to live in 1986 with cancer. He managed to get treatment and lived another 15 years till 2001. He died right before the plane crash, the 9/11 attack. My mom did too. But they lived a longer life because we moved up to this Washington area. It's a lot prettier up here. People live longer. I know people that are in their 70s that have parents in their 90s. Isn't that weird? Yeah, LA is just a really unhealthy place long term. If you can move out of LA, it's a great, there's a couple of options for all of you who are in Los Angeles. I was telling you about Vegas and the properties out there. They're pretty cheap. But you could move to New Mexico and live for as low as $250 a month in a trailer park. There's amazingly good deals to live out there in the middle of the Arizona area in New Mexico. Bad year for you in 86, really? No, I'm not sure. For some years I lived in my van down by the Venice Beach. But as I got older, around 25, my dad had a heart attack. And I spent more time at home, bobbing back and forth from work to home, and I would drive 30 miles each way for 10 or 15 years. And I managed to help my dad live longer by making him custom meals, and got his blood pressure down, and his heart never was a problem, but the cancer eventually came back and haunted him. Apparently with prostate cancer, if it goes unchecked for a short period of time, it can seed into the bone. And that's what happened to my father. He stopped the prostate cancer from growing with radiation, lived many years later, but eventually it seeded on the spine, and it cost him his life. It eventually led to treatments, anti-cancer treatments, lower your resistance, which led to pneumonia, which kills you. Wow, you drove a 50-minute run to work, 50-minute drive home every day for 10 years? Wow, you're officer junior. Yeah. Well, I don't know what your problem is, Sunchild. You worked enough in your life. Really. You shouldn't have to work anymore. I met a woman recently who suffered in a terrible car accident. She was a Filipino woman in my area, and she's about my age, and she was in a terrible car accident about a year and a half ago. And luckily the car had $300,000 life insurance, or rather medical insurance for the people involved. And she apparently had a good attorney, and they got $160,000 in cash for her and paid for her injuries to be repaired. And I said, well, you got $160,000 in cash out of this. That means that you really don't have to work the rest of your life. And she was like, but I'm in training to be retrained for occupation. And I was like, why? Why are you retraining for an occupation when you're in constant pain? She broke her entire shoulder blade and everything. Her collarbone was broken, everything. She was in pain. You could tell she could barely move her arm. And it was like a year and a half after the surgery. And I thought, well, that $160,000, she's deserving of that the rest of her life. She shouldn't have to work. But you have to understand, there's a lot of people who reach the point in their life where they should just relax and not work. And frankly, soul child, you've done enough. You need to start thinking good thoughts about yourself, because you are one great painter. You really do have an excellent eye for painting. I've seen your watercolors or your pastels, and they're very impressive. You need to think good things about yourself. Don't think of yourself as your failed career and all that. And look at Tekwala. You worked in the military. You did your service for this country. Yeah, you are. Yes, and you speak 2 languages perfectly, and you're an incredibly talented musician. Well, you need to escape your condition that you're in and get into a better life. Bottom line is, there's a future for you if you escape your situation. Many of you are stuck in a place that is kind of a rut, where you think the world is just the same old everywhere you go and every day. And what you're failing to realize is you can create a new world for you tomorrow. You just have to think of yourself as something better. It's all about perception of yourself. Well, whatever. Regardless, you still have a lot of talent. There's nothing you can erase. You can't erase talent like that. And I still believe it's all about self-perception. Sarah is a real self-help advocate. She reads or listens to books on tape to help, get herself in the right frame of mind. And I can see it really helping her in her life. She's turned herself around. She was never a problem. Sarah already had a good attitude in life, but she kind of pulled it all together and said, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to get. And she went out and did it. I'm not saying do what she did. I'm just saying there's always a new and a different way to look at yourself every day. It's one of the best tools you have in your arsenal is to how you frame your mind of yourself, how you see yourself. You don't have to see it any other way than how you want to see it. You don't have to look at yourself through the eyes of other people. You don't have to look at yourself through the eyes of your parents. You don't have to see yourself as a failure. You simply define yourself starting with tomorrow morning. And one of the reasons why I've been so successful in life is I've learned to look past all of the head trips people lay on me. I'm impervious to people saying negative things in this room. And because I'm not seeking any personal gain here, I do this show because it's something I want to do. It's not because I get paid, and I don't. I'm not like Alex Jones doing the show because they're paying him $20 million a year. I'm not owned by anybody. I can say whatever I want in this show. And what really empowers me is whenever I see these people coming in and condemning me, it makes me feel better. The more they condemn me, the more I know I'm doing my job correctly. So the more they fall into the trap of wanting to censor me or attack me or troll me, the more it feeds me. It's like, I eat that up, people. Bring it. That's what I live for. I'm not here for money like you are. You're getting paid to attack me. I'm getting nothing for doing this other than the joy to see you banned every time you come in here, trolling me. So bring it. And I'm extending the show so we have a full 4 hours here. You thought you could kick me off the show, DDoS me, shut me down? This YouTube video will be on YouTube record for as long as they keep the active archive. And then you could probably download my Blu-ray disc set that I'll be producing. No, I haven't convinced myself that people are getting paid to troll me. They are getting paid to troll me. We have evidence of that, extensive evidence. Our whole show has been attacked since day one. As soon as I started the show in 2008, I virtually was fighting troll after troll just to keep the show alive. We entered the show in a storm of attacks. So it's actually better right now than it's ever been. I can play an Elephant video, but I don't want to betray some of my regulars here who don't like Elephant. You know, I've got a lot of people that don't think she's that great of a singer. I like Elephant, and I think she's awesome. But I don't really want to betray people that would rather see some, credible video play right now. Being an online chatter is not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm not making money doing this, but it's great to be able to do something every night. And I've offered a venue for people to come in and chat anytime they want. Nobody else in the country is doing this kind of work. I don't like Slayer. I don't like a lot of hard rock either. Yeah, Johnny. But I can find common ground, like I look a little Black Sabbath. War Pigs, I think, is pretty good. King Crimson, I really like their work. Some of the all-time classic hard rockers, they're really amazing. But the later stuff, yeah. Who wouldn't like 21st century schizoid man, Okay, so let's talk again tomorrow. I'll be back with Thursday's show starting at 5 o'clock, where I'm going to be making a lasagna dinner. A turkey lasagna dinner. Hopefully I'll find some ground turkey for it. Otherwise, I got to get to my organic pork sausage. Either one will be good. I like Pink Floyd. Yeah, they're good too. I like space rock. I like Supertramp, Pink Floyd. I like the early stuff. I also like fun, light stuff like Fleetwood Mac. I really enjoy it. Like the song Gypsy is one of my favorite songs. So I'm kind of a in between space rock and more light pop rock and hip hop. But I can understand why people like hard rock. I get it. Ted Nugent never did anything for me. Nothing. I never got anything out of his music. Yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, right? Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I like classic rock. I bumped into Graham Nash one time. Literally, I walked right into him. When I remember when I was 17 years old, I was working at one of my jobs. I had 3 jobs. No, actually I was 18. I had 3 jobs. I was working in Hollywood, and I was going to a bookstore that I was working at as well. And I walked right into this guy. It's like, boom. And it was Graham Nash, the famous musician. Yeah. He was cool about it. I mean, we literally collided face to face. It was like, wow, I was in a hurry. He was leaving quickly with something he had bought, and we walked right into each other. And then I was like kind of almost stunned how much, it was almost like a football hit. And then I said I was sorry. He said, yeah, no problem, man. And then I walked into the store. He said, did you know who you just bumped into? Graham Nash. It's like, whoa, really? No kidding. Anyway, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a turkey lasagna. We'll do it for under $7. We'll feed 10 people, 10 portions for under $7. Craig, Greta on Ellen. Yes, we'll do that. Greta on Ellen. Okay, we'll do that in just a second. Meanwhile, I'm going to play the outro here. Mr. Wright, signing off. Thank you. I look just like him. Yeah, I'm sure I do. What are you, blind? Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good night. Try to get 6 hours of sleep. That's my definite minimum in order to feel good. And keep on living. Don't think bad thoughts about yourself. Try to look at every day as a new beginning to a new self, a new you. Okay? Don't drag the crap from last week and the week before and the years before with you. Try to get past that. You create your future. All right, this is a new America forming, and we're together doing this. So keep up the good work. Take care. Bye-bye.
You're Mr. Right, Mr. Right, too good. off my feet. My heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just turn my world around. Cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet. My heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good.